All right, thanks, guys. We're currently 4-1 in our last 5 Underdog tier package picks on patreon.com/Brock Page. Good for 80% during that short span. And of course, that's a site that I operate that gives you premium daily sports picks beginning at just $1.99 through the end of the month. We're also 7-2 straight up in our last 9 plays in that same category. Good for 78% during that span as well. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. But before we go ahead and move on, let's take a look at some Russian Liga Pro table tennis action. And we're going to start with Ivan Pander squaring off against Andrei Sadko in a 6 p.m. Eastern start time. Pander's coming fresh off a tough 3-2 loss at the hands of Andrei Sadko. Ivan's also dropped 2 out of his last 3, including a 3-0 shutout to the hands of Battyanov during that stretch as well. Pander's 4-12 in his last 16. Good for a win percentage of just .250 during that span. Pander's also been shut out in 7 out of those 12 losses. Sadko on the other side has beaten the likes of Pander, Battyanov, and Shearzov within his last handful of matches. He also shut out Battyanov and Shearzov during that span. Looks like a pretty nice spot for Sadko backers here. Give me Andrei Sadko winning that one outright for some moneyline cash. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and once again welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Wednesday's Russian Liga Pro table tennis action. Happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. The weekend is right around the corner. Now, before we go ahead and move on with the program, I just want to quickly remind you once again to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where we're once again 4-1 straight up in our last 5 Dog of the Day tier package plays. Good for 80% in that span. We're also 7-2 straight up in our last 9 Underdog tier package plays in that same category as well. Very good membership for us right now. We do daily premium sports picks on that website beginning at just $1.99 through the end of the month. We also have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. Currently, we have over 525 members signed up and active on that page. Now, you might be wondering, why would all those folks sign up to receive Patreon picks, where they can get them right here for free on YouTube, and that's certainly a great point, a great concern. But there is a big problem with me handicapping every single game that's on the board, side and total. And the problem is this: if you were to go out and maybe get that phone out and download that sports betting app and bet every single game that's on the board that I put out here on YouTube, side and total, you're virtually guaranteeing yourself failure. And I know that sounds crazy, but you just got to hear me out. If you're going to bet every single game that's on the board, that's on the slate, with your hard-earned money, side and total, it's certainly not a winning formula for success. And as a matter of fact, it's a recipe for disaster. The books are way too smart. They're way too sharp. They have a lot more money than you and I do combined to be able to absorb that kind of action. And most important, guys, the math becomes aggressively against you the more and more games you play like that. So what I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you. I break it down and focus in on just 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're high percentage picks, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, my current Patreon record is a whole lot better than it is here on YouTube, handicapping every single game that's on the board, side and total. And the good news is this: if you want to go out there and go ahead and check out my current Patreon record, you can actually do that for free right now. It's located right on the homepage. All you have to do is click the link in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And of course, without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive back into some more free lines and personal leans right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got Dmitri Battyanov squaring off against Sergei Koosman in a 6:30 p.m. start time. Koosman is 4-2 straight up in his last 6, including a dominant 3-0 shutout of Dmitri Battyanov during that span. Sergei also defeated the likes of Shearzov and Pander during that stretch of matches. Koosman's 9-3 record in his last dozen is good for a win percentage of .750. He's also 3-0 straight up in his last 3 head-to-head meetings with Dmitri Battyanov. And speaking of Dmitri, he lost to the likes of Sadko, Koosman, and Shearzov within his last handful of contests. 2 out of those 3 losses just so happened to come by the final of 3-0. Doesn't look like too appetizing of a spot here for Dmitri. Give me Sergei Koosman winning this one outright for some moneyline cash. Next contest I have for you, it is going to be Vitali Basilevsky squaring off against Viktor Ivanov in a 6:30 p.m. Eastern start. Ivanov's beaten the likes of Basilevsky and Alex Yanishev in his last handful of matches. Matter of fact, Viktor beat Yanishev 3-1 during that span. Basilevsky, on the other side, has dropped 2 out of his last 3 himself, including a 3-0 shutout loss to Oleg Nikiforov during that stretch. Basilevsky also lost to Alexei Yanishev in convincing fashion, 3-1 during that span as well. Vitali's 1-7 record in his last 8 is good for a win percentage of just 125. Even worse, Basilevsky was shut out in 3 out of those 7 defeats. Doesn't look like too good of a spot here for Vitali backers. Give me Viktor Ivanov getting the job done on the money line. All right, we're going to slide into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Vlad Petroff squaring off against Alex Chensov in a 6:30 p.m. Eastern start time. Chensov comes into this matchup as the $1.20 underdog. Petroff's minus 165 on the money line himself. And if you like Petroff to get the job done here in this spot, he is coming off a tough, hard-fought victory against Dmitri Merzlinkin by the final of 3-2. He also beat Vlad Shirokov in convincing fashion 3-1 in his last outing before that. Petroff's amongst the hottest players right now in the world of professional table tennis, winning his last 7 straight. Along with beating Merzlinkin and Shirokov, he also beat the likes of Abramov and Chensov during that winning streak. And speaking of Chensov on the other side, he's coming fresh off a 3-2 defeat to Vlad Shirokov in his last outing. Alex is currently on a 2-match losing streak, including an embarrassing 3-0 defeat to Dmitri Merzlinkin during that span as well. Chensov's 1-4 record in his last 5 is good for just 20% in that short span. He also dropped 5 out of his last 7, including 3 shutout losses during that stretch. Chensov definitely looks like fade material here. Give me Vlad Petroff winning this one outright for some moneyline cash. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some shout-outs. And from the Patreon platform, shout-out goes to Justin Van Kuren, Jay Williams, Brian T., Terrell Parrott, Brandon Saunders, Jansen Bordino, Frank Capra, and Chemo136. All right, shout-outs from the Instagram platform. Got to give a shout-out to Teresa Lynn, my good friend, requested a shout-out. There it is. Teresa, shout-out goes to you. Shout-out to Papa Sterling, Kegel Shine, George Rojas, Michael Urbano, Ryan Firma, Pam Harford, and Samila Maivakera. And finally, from YouTube, shout-out goes to That Good Shiznit, Frank Del Castillo, Raytan Gadvi, Beats to My Own Drums. Also, shout-out to James Medina, Romoy Reed, Carmen Alcala, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout-out to my man, Kirk Frazier. Did you hear me give a shout-out to Teresa? She requested it yesterday. She was very adamant through Instagram. Oh. She was looking for a shout-out. She didn't get it, and she got it today, even though there's like 8 to 10 pictures of her on the Instagram page. Yeah. But she wanted the shout-out, so she got it. Give it a shout-out. She got it. It's already done. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Real quick, I wanted to mention, I did fail to mention in my first couple of quick timeouts, if you decide to sign up for my Patreon website, we will bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So, no matter whether you sign up at the beginning of the month, middle of the month, or end of the month, you'll get billed the day you sign up. That's that initial fee. You'll get access through the end of the month. And then you'll get billed on the first of every month following that. So I just want to make sure you guys are aware of that if you're interested in signing up. But overall, guys, I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. I certainly enjoy producing it for you day in and day out, even when I'm on vacation and on my honeymoon. Went live from Jamaica on my honeymoon. But anyway, guys, I enjoy doing this each and every day. So hopefully, once again, you enjoy all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Wednesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.